Welcome back to The Big Show. It's Belfield on Broadway, talking to two stars who are only 13 and 11, but trust me, they're the biggest stars you're going to see on Broadway in Billy Elliot, the musical. Jake Schwencke, how are you?
Great, how are you?
I'm really good, thank you. And also Jacob Clemente, good to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you too.
And of course, you're Billy Elliot, you're the big star. It's all about you, isn't it?
Yes, kind of. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of other parts in the show that help the show come together.
Well, this is the thing, you steal the show because you're Billy, but then you make us laugh as Michael, don't you?
Yeah, I guess.
Is it fun being you? Let's face it, everybody dreams of being a Broadway star, it seems to me, in America, and you two have made it, and you're only 13 and 11.
Yeah, it's amazing. Oh yeah, I can't believe it, because I've been wanting to do this since I was in my mom's stomach.
So Jacob, tell me, how do you get the role as Billy then? You've got to be a singer, you've got to be a dancer, you've got to be an actor, you've got to have a personality, you've got to be unique. Anything else I've missed off?
A lot of practice. A lot, yes.
Were you born dancing? Because when I look at the history of the Billies, and it started obviously in the West End and then came here, and still is doing gangbusters, #1 week after week after week, selling out, you can't get a ticket. You've got to be exceptional. Were you born exceptional?
I like to think so. I don't know. I don't know.
Can you be trained though? That's what I mean, because I mean you look so natural on stage. Can you be trained to dance as good as you are?
Yes, I mean, if you work really hard at it, yes, you can.
And let's talk about you, Jake, because of course you've got a lot of the funny lines in it, and you're really the character, aren't you? Were you always funny?
Sure, I guess. I think so.
What were you like at school? I mean, because you should still be at school, but of course you're a Broadway star, so you don't waste time with that now, do you?
Well, there's a lot of there's tutoring, because we're constantly rehearsing, so I'm not in school at this very moment. Yeah.
You're from where in America?
Albany, New York.
Oh, wow, so you haven't got far to come.
No, I'm 2.5 hours.
And what about you, Jake?
I'm from New Jersey.
Oh, okay, so it's all good, because some of the kids come from all over and they have to move here. Are you able to live at home, or do you have to move to the city then?
I have to have an apartment in the city.
How cool is that?
Yeah, I love it. It's a little crammed, and it's a lot more expensive than any place in Albany.
But you don't have to worry about that, they pay for it.
No.
So what happens then? Because you can't live by yourself. I mean, you're only 13.
Yeah, my mom moves down here with me, and my siblings stay at home, but then my dad and my siblings come down every weekend.
I've got to ask you the question, how proud are they on a scale of 1 to 10? I know it's the stupidest question I'm going to ask today.
I don't know, I might have to say 11.
And how often do they come and see the show? Once or twice a week?
Well, tickets are kind of expensive, so I probably like my opening night and maybe every once in a blue moon.
All right, what we're going to do, we're going to take some music throughout the interview. Let's start with a piece that you personally enjoy.
The Letter.
And this is the moment where you make us all cry, isn't it?
Yes, if I'm lucky.
I can't think of another show ever that has made such stars out of young people. And when we watch you, you kind of defy gravity and belief and everything, because you fly, you talk, you walk, you do funny, you dance. How difficult was the audition process? Because you really do have to be an all-rounder, don't you?
It was very difficult. I started when I was 9, and it just kept going from callback to callback. He needs more ballet training. He needs more everything. So it's a hard process. In
terms of the singing, how difficult is it? Because you've really got some tough numbers. Electricity is tremendous, isn't it?
Yes. The singing's pretty difficult, but the dancing was harder for me.
And you always wonder when you watch you, how do you keep your breath to be able to sing when you're dancing?
A lot of stamina training. We have cardio class every week, so...
And I've got to ask you about being a kid, Jake, because you are only 11 and this is meant to be fun. Are you having fun?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, with everyone backstage and then the audience, you know, clapping for you, it's just an unbelievable experience.
Do you think you were born to do this?
Yeah, I think so. I'll definitely be doing this for a while.
What's interesting about this show, it's not a kid's musical. I mean, it's got some really strong language in it, some really difficult topics, and some really grown-up ideas in it. At what point do they have to have that conversation with you that the swearing's okay in the show, but you can't really use it in real life?
Well, the associate director, Julian Weber, he had a lot of difficulty with me because he said I was too nice. So a lot of times during rehearsals, he'd get upset with me because I'd get so afraid to swear in front of him.
And then there's the thing about cross-dressing, and that's when you steal the show. I think really you have the first big laugh, don't you, when you do your big number and you're both getting changed. That's the moment where we fall in love with both of you.
Well, I didn't know how to tap before I started rehearsals, so that added like 3 months just to be able to do the number. But yeah, we have a lot of training, and we have a great creative team to help us really get into the role and help us really get those big laughs in there.
How do you deal with the pressure of the fact that they've put all this money into you, they've flown you here to New York, given you an apartment, and then you've got to go on and deliver? Do you worry about that, or do you just do what you do?
Well, I was really nervous on my first night, obviously, with all the rehearsals, I mean, you feel so comfortable after a while.
And are you excited to get on stage in the end? I mean, because this is the boring bit, isn't it, having to go and do the classes here and rehearse all week?
Oh, it never stops. It's great.
Let's take that song. It's called
Express Yourself.
That's Express Yourself from Billy Elliot, the musical on Broadway and in the West End, of course. Jacob, tell me about your plans in the future, because you're only young.
I hope to be in a lot of movies and Broadway shows, but I hope to be in a Tim Burton film.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, let's put a name down for that. I think it's going to happen because you're a huge star. The thing that amazes me about this show, of course, is based in the northeast of England, and the accent is difficult even for people from England to be able to do. How long does it take you to master that?
Many weeks, months, a lot of dialect rehearsals with our dialect coach Ben and William, and a lot of rehearsals. And then all of a sudden, when you start to get some of the words that kind of just blend in, and then you get it.
About the story then, the story is, of course, the fight to keep the pits open. Did you know about the Margaret Thatcher stuff and all of that? Because it happened before you were even born.
Yes, I did know about that. Through my brother, he's really interested in history. So it's talk about that between my dad and my brother at home.
And Jake, what about going over to the northeast to Newcastle and seeing where this story came from?
Yeah, I mean, there was, like I said, with all the rehearsals, they really have time to explain it to you and get into the role.
What's the fun bit of the show for you? When is the bit that you look forward to? Because there's a lot of acting in this. There's some tough bits and, of course, really sad bits as well, because in the play you lose your mum, and that's what the letter was about that we played earlier. But then there are magical moments when you get to fly and all that stuff. Are they the cool bits?
Yeah, I love flying. I love the angry dance because it's an amazing number with all the lights and the guitar, and there's a lot of cool moments.
And of course the set's really clever as well, because bits come up and down and move in and out and all of that stuff. Did you ever think you'd be in anything this big? Because they spent a fortune on it, haven't they?
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't know. When I was younger, I'd think, oh, I want to do a Broadway play. 3 years later, oh, okay then, I'm here.
You make it sound so easy. Tell us your story, Jake. How long did it take you to get the gig?
About maybe like 2 months in a course of auditions, like 3 callbacks and so on.
So who out the two of you had the most callbacks? Who got the gig quicker?
Oh, he got it quicker. I auditioned when I was 9. So
How tired are you at the end of it? Because the thing that we see, especially on a Wednesday like we're talking today, 2 shows today, 2 shows on a matinee. I know you don't do both, but the show is literally exhausting, isn't it? Because it's so physical.
I'm very tired. The only thing that gets me through is Mountain Dew and a Coca-Cola. No, extremely tired, but sometimes after a show I'm wired up, so I can't go to bed, but it differs every night.
And what about keeping slim and all that stuff to be able to do it? I guess you're burning off a load of calories so you can eat what you want.
Yeah, we're supposed to eat 3,000 calories a day.
Wow.
Doesn't happen, though.
That's incredible. So you can have all your White Castles and your Wendy's and your Big Macs. Do you do all that stuff?
Oh yeah, I'm probably the worst at keeping healthy in this entire cast.
Do you worry about colds and things? Because we're talking in the winter, and of course it's -2 outside, and then you come in and it's really warm on stage. You have to be careful with your voice.
Yeah, I've gotten a few colds from some of the other cast members and outside, but the biggest thing that scares me is injuries. Mm-hmm. No injuries.
Because, I mean, you talk about that dance you do on top of the bedroom scene when you're literally kicking at everything. It could go wrong, couldn't it?
Yes, it could go very wrong, but it has gone wrong. One of our Billies once sprained his toe by kicking it too hard, so it's a very dangerous number.
Jake, tell me about what you're thinking about when you're on stage. Are you in the moment? Are you the character? Do you become Michael? How do you do what you do?
Well, there's a lot of background to it because, we know that Michael is Billy's best friend, and he's got a secret that he's hiding and dressing up in women's clothing. So it really helps you kind of become Michael.
Do you look forward to the moment when you grab the audience? Because you've got something, both of you, that I've never had, which is popularity, and you stand there at the end and they're all cheering and they love you and they fall in love with you. Is that the moment you're waiting for? Oh,
absolutely. Every night, there are a few scenes like the boxing scene and the kissing scene, but Express is always like, all right, here we go. Come on.
And of course, Jacob, at the end, you get the huge standing ovation. I've never seen it when they haven't been on their feet just loving you. Yeah. Is there any better feeling than that?
No, not at all. It's amazing, especially when you walk out the stage door and they're all cheering and they want your autograph. That's a great feeling.
Is that boring yet? Are you fed up of that yet?
No.
Never gets tired?
Nope.
Hey guys, listen, lovely talking to you. Thank you so much for coming on the programme. And two incredible talents. I think that's what blows you away with this show. I suppose you felt the same when you watched it. You can't believe how people do it, and now you are.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it at all. It was... My mom, at the end of Electricity, looks at me and she's like, do you think you could do that? I'm like... Give me a year. Give me a year or two.
And of course, this is something you can't do forever, because we can't have a 30-year-old Michael or a 42-year-old Billy, can we? Do you worry about the future, or is it all about now?
I'm not sure. I definitely think that I'll be here for a while because, I'm small for now.
Yeah, not too many Big Macs or anything like that.
Exactly.
Hey, Jake, thank you very much for talking to me, and Jacob as well. Just two phenomenal talents here on Broadway in Billy Elliot, and congratulations on being you. Let's take the big number, Electricity. This is the moment where you shine, isn't it?
Yes.
Thanks for talking to me.
Thank you.